Hey everybody, it's Preston here, aka Godzilla Hawk, and welcome to your next YouTube video. I'm going to be doing a New Japan review along with a Q&A. So when it comes to Q&A, it depends after my review if I get enough people to want to do a Q&A. Worst case scenario, if nobody wants to really do the Q&A portion, then this will just be a SummerSlam or Summer Struggle in Jingu review. So I'm just going to talk about New Japan, about the Summer Struggle in Jingu. I believe that's how you pronounce it. 2020 review, which was New Japan's recent pay-per-view that just happened. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about New Japan. And during this review, if you want to go ahead and ask me any questions for a Q&A, let me know. Again, worst case scenario, if nobody decides to do a Q&A portion, I just won't do the Q&A portion. This will just solely be a review on New Japan, which is fine. So a little update tomorrow. I will be doing a Payback review. I'll get my thoughts on Payback. So there's that. In terms of other videos, I might do a Q&A sometime next week. It just depends. Like I said, guys, I've been busy. Last few weeks, I haven't been on YouTube for a while. Again, been selling into my new place and everything, so that's why I have not been online. But for those of you who have been patient, thank you so much for being patient. I'm going to try to get as many videos as possible, but then again, I have to be in the right mood to do videos, you know? So there's that. But I want to do something a little different. I want to talk about New Japan because since nobody else seems to be talking about the second greatest wrestling promotion right now in the world, yes, I do mean second, only behind NXT, and 100 times better than AEW. I know it's going to piss everybody off who are AEW fanatics, but I could give a shit. I like AEW, but it has fair share of problems. But I want to talk about Summer Struggle because a lot of stuff happened on the show, a lot of unpredictability. So I want to go ahead and just let's go through this card very quick. I watched it technically this morning from 1 a.m. to almost 3:30, so fuck, I guess you can tell I was fucking tired. But I decided to go ahead and talk about it. So we'll go ahead. It's only 6 matches. I'll just go briefly through this, and we'll just kind of see where everything kind of goes. So we got Kanemaru versus Master Wato 1-on-1. So opening match. So clearly they're building up Master Wato. He's their new young guy with a character. He was a young line, but now he's given a character. You know, he's now on New Japan full time. With the situation at hand, you can tell New Japan needs some homegrown talent. They need some more guys, and Master Wato is one of those guys. So this has been built up for quite a while. After Master Wato's debut victory over Doki, Kanemaru came out and he's been calling Master Wato trash. He's washed up. He's just a punk kid. So the match itself was nothing really special. 7-minute opener. But Kanemaru ended up winning. This was surprising. I figured Master Wato would at least get the victory here, even if it was like a roll-up or something. But no, Kanemaru actually ended up getting the roll-up victory, which was quite surprising. You would figure they want to kind of build Master Wato up a little bit more, give him a few extra wins. Because I believe he's going to be in the G1 this year. I think you should put him in the G1 to kind of see how he branches out. And then eventually you have him start losing to some like the bigger names. So guys like Okada and Ibushi and Naito and those guys. So I was kind of surprised they gave Master Wato the loss here, the L here. I don't really agree with that, but then again, people are still trying to get behind this Master Wato character. So, you know, one victory isn't gonna, or one loss isn't gonna hurt this guy. Okay, he's still young, guys. He's like in his early 20s. I think he's like 22, 23. So that's basically it with that. Again, the match itself, nothing special. Next, we have a 4-way tournament final for the King of Pro Wrestling Championship. It's the trophy. They talked about this King of Pro Wrestling tournament. So I could be wrong. So basically, Okada came up with this plan where 8 competitors would compete in singles matches, and each of those singles matches would be a stipulation voted by the fans. The winners of each singles match would be in a four-way, and the winner of four-way will win the King of Pro Wrestling Championship Tournament, which I believe they will defend until next year, until they do the whole cycle again, which is they do a four-way and all that singles matches. It's a lot to take in. So they had El Desperado, my boy El Desperado, Sanada, Okada, and Yano. Four-way match. Really, this four-way match ended way too quickly, in my opinion. I think it should have been a lot longer. You know me, I love fatal four-ways, triple threats, three-ways, whatever you want to call them. This could have been a lot better, but it just ended literally 7 minutes. I think everybody expected Okada to win. I think Okada was everybody's pick to win. He's the big name. This was his match. He's the one that came up with the concept. I want El Desperado to win because El Desperado is the fucking future in my mind. That guy needs to be a singles champion. If he's not going to be world champion, the guy should at least hold at least the Intercontinental Championship. So I was thinking El Desperado should win, but no. They actually gave it to Yano. Yano hit a low blow on his own teammate Okada and rolled him up to get victory. Shock victory. I like Yano. Yano's very entertaining, so I'm not really complaining about this. Plus, this whole King of Pro Wrestling Championship thing, I don't like it when they defend trophies. I think it's just stupid. If you're going to have a championship, they just have a fucking championship. Have a title belt. When I think of trophies, I think of my bowling trophies I have. I don't have to defend those. I don't like the concept itself. I mean, the whole concept itself is interesting, but the trophy thing, plus the trophy itself is super tiny and looks really bad. It's no G1 Climax trophy. It's no New Japan Cup trophy. It's very tiny. It almost looks like a participation award trophy. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's what they do with it. You know, this thing could be a total bust later on. This could be one of the most exciting things you ever see. So again, this thing's still brand new. But Yano ended up winning. So you know what? I'm not too mad about that. And that's the one thing I think I like about Yano. You look at his gimmick, and the guy, you would think the guy's a total jobber or joke. But when you think about it, this guy could realistically win against any opponent. He's not just some guy like, oh, Santino Marella was. This guy can legitimately beat you. The guy's intelligent. He may be a goofball, but the guy knows his moves. The guy knows what he's capable of. And the best thing about him is he's an opportunist. He will bend the rules. He's like an Eddie Guerrero. He lies, cheats, and steals. But the fans love him for it. And he can realistically beat anybody, whether that's low blowing you and rolling you up or feet on the ropes or counter or putting duct tape on you. Yano's got a million ways to beat you, and that's the one thing I liked about it. Is he actually beat Okada. He beat his own leader to win this four-way. He didn't beat Desperado. He didn't beat Sanada. He beat Okada, guys. He beat the 5-time heavyweight champion. His own leader with a low blow and a roll-up. So, Yano gets a big victory here, so congratulations to him. At the end of the day, now we have to see where this whole King of Pro Wrestling Championship goes by moving forward. Like I said, this thing could be a bust. This thing could be a success. We have to wait and see because it's still brand new. Next, we got Shingo Takagi defending his Never Openweight Championship against Minoru Suzuki. If you know any of these two guys, you know the type of match these two are going to have. And it was exactly what you thought of. For 15 minutes, these guys just beat the shit out of each other. I mean, if you know Suzuki and his style, and you've seen Shingo Takagi's matches, and you know his type of style, this is exactly what you thought. It was just a fight. It was physical. It was hard-hitting, countering, all that fun stuff. It was just a fight. It was a 15-minute fight of what we can expect in the near future. Shingo and Minoru Suzuki were trained headbutts and those vicious forearms. I swear to God, those forearms or elbows by Suzuki are probably some of the stiffest I've ever seen in my entire life. The minute he hits those things, sometimes I just cringe. I have to turn my head away. But I'd rather fight Suzuki than be in a match with Nia Jax. Just saying. I'd rather get a concussion than risk death Just saying. But Shingo Takagi's been never will be champion for over 200 days. He's been a dominant champion. But he lost here. He lost with the rear naked choke and then got hit with a gotch pile driver. And that was it. Suzuki is now a 2-time never openweight champion. And with that happening, there's an opening now, and I'll get to that a little bit later in the main event. But there's an opening for now for a potential match for Wrestle Kingdom 15 next year. There is potential there, and a potential G1 Climax winner, which I'll get to. But the match was physical. It was great. It was 15 minutes, but you know what? I really want to see these guys go at it again. And this time, I hope they go out. If these guys go out of the G1, they gave them like 30 minutes, I would love it. Give me more. Next, we have the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Hiromu Takahashi defending against Taiji Ishimori. Hiromu Takahashi, a few weeks ago, or I think it's actually it's probably been a month, says he hurt his shoulder. He injured his shoulder, I think, during his match with Evil, if I'm not mistaken. He injured his shoulder, so we had no idea if he was going to be able to compete against Taiji. He was scheduled to defend the title, but we didn't know if he was going to make it. He was able to make it. He worked a 14-minute match. And again, Hiromu's becoming one of my favorites. I'm a big Hiromu Takahashi fan. I just love his character. I love his colorful personality, but I love his in-ring style. The fact I got to see this guy live against Dragon Lee. Yes, that was the event in the Cow Palace a couple years ago. We broke his neck. That sucked. I was there live. I knew something was wrong there. And they got Taiji Ishimori, who is fucking amazing at what he does. Exactly the type of match you thought it was going to be for at least 13 minutes of it. It was just high-flying, impact match, cruiserweight action, or juniorweight action, however you want to call it. Taiji Ishimori was working out the arm and shoulders, obviously as you would if you know somebody that has an injury is competing. You target that area. Try to get them to submit somehow. And at the end of the day, Taiji Ishimori ended up locking in the submission holding. He tapped out Hiromu. He cleanly tapped out Hiromu. No Bullet Club members, nobody else came out. It was Taiji with a clean tap out victory. Taiji Ishimori is now a 2-time junior heavyweight champion, if I'm not mistaken. Well-deserved. Taiji's well-deserved. And let's be honest, Hiromu Takahashi, he's been a 3-time junior heavyweight champion now. I think it's like the situation is with Will Ospreay. I think it's time to kind of move him up in the rankings. If he's not going to challenge for the heavyweight title right away, he should at least go after at least the Never Openweight Championship or the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe even the U.S. Championship if that gets back in the United States or in Japan. But I think Hiromu needs to move up now. He's been junior heavyweight champion 3 times. You know, I think that's been enough. I think he's too talented, too charismatic to just stay in the junior heavyweight division forever. I think he some point needs to move. And I think he's ready for it. Honestly, he's going to need to take some time to recover the shoulder injury, and I think he should. I think he should take some time off. And then when he gets back, he's 100% or at least 95%. Then we bring him back and we slowly put him in the main card title picture. But that's it. It was a great, fast-paced match, exactly how I thought it would be. Except it was just not as long. Not as long as the match that they had, at the Best Super Junior Finals a couple years ago, which was like almost 30 minutes, I believe. Next, we got the Dangerous Techers. That's Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. versus the Golden A's, Hiroshi Tanahashi Koibushi. Last time these two teams fought each other was a few weeks ago, and it was match of the night. These two tore the house down. It was a fantastic match. The whole story with this was Taichi Zack Sabre Jr. ended up beating Hiroshi Tanahashi to win the belts the first time. And ever since then, Koibushi has been kind of hesitant to be his partner because Hiroshi kept on losing, taking the losing fall, and he was thinking, maybe this guy's old. Maybe this guy's just not the ace of old. Maybe he's not the guy I used to look up to. Maybe he's not the partner I thought he was. Everybody thought maybe teasing Kobayashi, maybe joining Suzuki-gun. But then they started getting the confidence back, and then they had a rematch for the titles here. Majority of the match, the Golden Ace were dominating. They were dominating. Zack, I guess, had an injured knee. They were targeting that a few times. They were just beating the crap out of Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. About 75% of this match, it was completely Golden Ace. And I figure, man, they might actually give them a victory here. And I was hoping not to, because I like Zack Sabre Jr., but I'm more of a Taichi fan. I am more of a Taichi fan. I want to see Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr. hold on to those belts for a while, because they deserve it. Plus, I want Kobayashi to go back to be a singles run and actually win the fucking heavyweight title. Which again, I can go back to in a little bit. But at the end of the day, though, Dangerous Tekkers end up pinning Hiroshi Tanahashi basically out of nowhere. Double tag team finisher out of nowhere, bam. They pin Tanahashi again. They retain the titles. So obviously this means the question is the Golden Age done? Possibly. You know, we didn't see Kobayashi attack Hiroshi Tanahashi or anything, but you can tell he's disappointed. But maybe somewhere down the road, maybe Kobayashi finally just snaps and he attacks Hiroshi. Maybe that's a match. Maybe this is going to be a potential matchup for Wrestle Kingdom 15. Maybe a special singles match between Kobayashi and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Maybe that's a planned match for the near future. Basically a G1 Climax 28 finals. Because Hiroshi Tanahashi beat Kobayashi at G1 Climax 28 to win. So they always do that. Oh, and this time they finally released the Killer Kota I like to call him, from earlier this Wrestle Kingdom January, that's where he released his serial killer, or Killer Kota I like to call him. So that's what's going on with that. So maybe that's where they're leaning towards, but Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., I think, need to hold on to those tag title belts for a while. I'd say hold them all the way to Wrestle Kingdom next year. If it was my idea, I would have them hold them all the way to next year's Wrestle Kingdom. Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. deserve to hold those belts because this is probably the best tag they've had since the Guerrillas of Destiny. Guerrillas of Destiny are great, and they're already 6-time tag team champions, which is great and all, but I do want to see Tama finally win some singles gold, especially heavyweight title. I've always been a big Tama Tonga supporter. He needs a victory. He needs to go on a singles run. And Zack and Taichi deserves, because Taichi's fucking great. And Zack Sabre Jr. deserves to win some belts, some championships. So, Dangerous Tekkers were retained. Good match, but clearly their last match they had was 1,000 times better. This was half the time of the other match. And it was more of a dominating performance at Golden Age, but Dangerous Tekkers just pulled up a slight victory like out of nowhere. Again, guys, Q&A. If we don't do the Q&A portion, that's fine, but I just want to let everybody know right now, I'm on to the last match. Once that happens, if I don't get enough people for a Q&A, then we won't do a Q&A. We'll just move on from there. But I need more than just a couple people. And I don't even know if you're watching, Mitch. I did see your comment, but I don't know if you're watching or not. Next, we got the main event for both IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship. We have Evil with Dick Togo defending against Tetsuya Naito. Main event. I don't know what it is about these matches. It's just... I've never been the biggest fan of Evil. I like his music. He's got a good character, but in-ring rise, he has his own style that just unfortunately doesn't do anything for me. And this was the same match he had with Naito the last time these two fought a couple months ago for the titles. It starts out very slow, dominated by Evil, and then the last 5-10 minutes order. This match was probably just a few minutes shorter than that one. But, Evil was taking control. You had Dick Togo coming out. Finally, LIJ popped over. Where the fuck are these guys? Bushi came out to help out. We had Sanada come out to finally help out, try even the odds because we got Gato. Did Togo was out there. No Yujiro Takahashi or Jado coming out, and there's no Shingo. I know Shingo was a little beat up from his match with Suzuki, and Hiromu probably was still injured, but still, it's like you at least Shingo could at least still come out. But another case, they teased that Evil's going to retain. They went back and forth, but at the end of the day, though, Naito hits one final Destino finisher for the win, and Naito becomes now a 3-time heavyweight champion and now a record-holding 6-time Intercontinental champion. I had to double check on the whole Intercontinental championship runs to find out who's held the title the most. And until up this point, it was a tie between Nakamura and Naito with 5. But at this moment, Naito has officially held the Intercontinental Championship more times than anybody at this moment, since the title's debut. So Naito's now a 6-time Intercontinental Champion, record-breaking 6-time Intercontinental Champion, and now Naito holds a Heavyweight Championship for a 3rd time. I'm not going to lie, I know why they did the whole Evil thing, because Jay White's stuck in the U.S. because he can't travel to Japan because of the whole virus situation. So they put Evil, the titles in Evil, and I guess they were just like, let's put the belts back on Naito. Maybe they just figured that Evil wasn't doing anything with the titles, and they originally did it for shock value, and they're just like, okay, here's his little moment, but let's give it back to Naito. Now here's one thing I really want. I am done with double champions. We've seen it in NXT. We've seen it in WWE. I think eventually we will see in AEW. I'm not a fan of that. The double championship needs to fucking end. Because let me ask you, what's the point of carrying both titles? Let me ask anybody. If you're in the wrestling business, what is your number one goal should be for any wrestling promotion? To go after the top title, which is usually the world title. If you're on SmackDown, it should be fighting for the Universal Championship. If you're on Raw, it should be for the WWE Championship. If it's NXT, it should be for the NXT Championship. If it's on Impact Wrestling, you should be fighting for the Impact Heavyweight Championship. If you're in New Japan, it should be the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Anywhere you go, your goal should be to fight for that Heavyweight Championship, the top title. So what is the point of having the Intercontinental Championship and New Heavyweight Championship both defended at the same time? Let me ask you, what's the point? It's just more hardware for you to carry. But your whole point is you should be winning the Heavyweight Championship anyway. If you're holding both those championships, the Intercontinental Championship should mean diddly squat. There's no point with having the Intercontinental Championship. If both belts are just going to be defended at the same time, you might as well just unify both belts and have one championship. That's why I never liked this double championship to begin with. I don't care what anybody says, when they announced this double championship bullshit, nobody wanted it. Nobody. It should have been Naito Jay White for your Intercontinental Championship, plain simple, and it shouldn't have been Okada and Ibushi. I guarantee you, if it was just for the Heavyweight Championship, Ibushi would be Heavyweight Champion by now. But they fucked him over because they wanted to do this stupid storyline with who can hold both belts so we can have Naito's long overdue moment. And ever since then, both titles have been defended. I'm done with it. So here's what I would do. Drop the IC Championship to somebody right now. And just have Naito hold on to the World Heavyweight Championship because that's the title Naito should be wearing the most. That is the top prize. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. If you're going to just have both belts be defended, you might as well just say, fuck the Intercontinental Championship, and that is it. There's no point of having two belts. It was back when Brock Lesnar won the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship simultaneously. What did they do? They just unified the belts into one title. Because they realized there's no point having 2 world titles anymore since that there's no brand split. With this, there's no point having the Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship should be like the Intercontinental Championship of WWE. It should be a workhorse title. But if you're going to have it just lean onto the heavyweight title, there's no point of having the Intercontinental Championship because at that point, you've already won that top belt. You're the world champion. Why do you need the Intercontinental Championship for? You don't. The Intercontinental Championship, the other belts should be, their own division should be your working steps, your stepping stones up to the main title. I'm just telling you, it's fact. There's no point having your Intercontinental Championship. So I hope to God, just have Naito have the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, so also keep in mind, with the Intercontinental Championship being stuck with the heavyweight title, that's one less title people can go after. What happens if someone wants to challenge for the Intercontinental Championship? They can't now. They have to challenge for the World Championship as well, apparently. So that's less opportunities for other wrestlers in the company to get. So I hope they end this whole double championship thing soon because it's done. I'm done with double champions, period. It needs to end. So, New Japan, if you're listening to this, get rid of this double championship. Have Naito drop the Intercontinental Championship to someone. At this point, I don't give a crap. Just drop it to someone. And have Naito hold on to the World Heavyweight Championship. Because that's the title that he should be holding anyway. He's held that Intercontinental Championship now 6 times. He doesn't need to win it anymore. He's already going to go down as the guy with the most reigns as the Intercontinental Champion now. He doesn't need to win that title. His focus should be winning the heavyweight title. Which he is now. So at that point, he already made history. He became the first person to hold heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship. He's the first person to hold the Intercontinental Championship the most. He's the only person to hold both Intercontinental and Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship twice during the unification thing. He's already made history in his own right. If I'm Naito, I just say I'll surrender my Intercontinental Championship. Have the Intercontinental Championship be vacant. Have him keep the World Heavyweight Championship and have like a mini tournament or something to crown a new Intercontinental Champion. Why not? Why not have somebody get the Intercontinental Championship to someone? You know, you have El Desperado. Give him the belt. Here's a brilliant idea. Why not give the Intercontinental Championship to Okada? Okada's doing nothing right now. I think we need to see him take a break from the Heavyweight Championship because that's the only title he always goes after. Why not have him give him the mid-card belt? Have him do something different. Do something what John Cena was doing. He was great as U.S. champion. Who's to say Okada can't be a great Intercontinental champion? I mean, what would be the harm in that? All you're going to do is get the Intercontinental Championship more prestige. And have Okada fight younger guys, like mid-carder guys. Instead of fighting guys Hiroshi Tanahashi and all that, maybe he fights El Desperado. He fights Doki. He fights Master Wato. You know, he fights Yujiro Takahashi. He fights more names that aren't as big of name value. I think that'll be more interesting. But Naito wins. I'm fine with that now. Evil has a little run. I don't know what they're going to do. They could always do Naito Evil again. And at that point, I need a break from Evil Naito. If they're going to fight at least one more time at the G1, which more likely they will, that's fine. But I don't think we need to see these guys wrestle again for a while after that. So again, guys, if anybody's in here, if you have any questions, let me know. You know, I can use some more questions. Mitch, I know you were in here. You know, you always ask me questions, kind of talk to me, dude. But knowing you probably left, so not big deal. Will Farrow, no Laura here. So guys, ask me some more questions. Unless you don't want a Q&A, that's fine. So I'm just going to continue talking. I guess we should talk about, because I believe the next show should be G1 Climax. It will be the 30th anniversary for the G1. 30th anniversary. Right now, Naito is the heavyweight and the Intercontinental champion. So unless something changes, which I hope to God, Naito drops at least that Intercontinental championship. If I were Naito, for New Japan, I have him drop the Intercontinental championship. Whether that's him vacating it, or whether that's him dropping it to somebody. He just needs to lose that title. Just have him drop the Intercontinental Championship and have Naito hold on to the heavyweight title all the way to Wrestle Kingdom in the main event. But with that being said, we have to work what we got, because, like I said, there's at least 25% of the New Japan talent are not in Japan right now. So we have to work what we got. I think Suzuki should win his G1 Climax, his first G1 Climax. That's who I think should win. Suzuki is yet to win a heavyweight championship. You want to talk about a guy that's long overdue of a world title? That's a guy right there. He is a leader of his own faction, and he's never been heavyweight champion. He's got tons of title shots, but he never wins. Now, a lot of people say, well, he's the never openweight champion. Well, that's fine. He can drop the never openweight champion. He can win the G1, drop the never openweight championship before Wrestle Kingdom, and then he can fight. Naito and Suzuki, those two have history for years. They are rival leader factions. They have wrestled each other before. And guess what? It's a fresh main event. It is two big names that does not involve Tanahashi and or Okada. So there's one suggestion right there. Suzuki wins. At the 30th anniversary, he finally wins his first G1. He main events his second Wrestle Kingdom, and he finally wins his first heavyweight championship. Suzuki would be my number one choice at that point. Number 2, Shingo Takagi. Naito and Shingo at G1 last year had an excellent match. They have history. They're part of LIJ. Shingo is clearly the next top guy. The next top megastar for New Japan. I clearly see that in him. So why not do Shingo winning the G1 and challenging his leader / mentor Naito? Having that fantastic match at G1, but now you give it more time, and it's for the heavyweight championship and maybe to the Tokyo Dome. If they go back to Tokyo Dome, that could be killer. That could be excellent. Another thing I'm going to throw out is Kota Ibushi again. Kota Ibushi needs to win that World Heavyweight Championship. I am sick of death of them not pulling the trigger on him. Give him the fucking belt. Kota needs to fucking win. He should have won at G1 Climax 28. Should have won the G1 that year. He didn't. Then he wins the G1 last year, and he's not even the proper main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Not only that, he loses, which is bullshit. He needs to win the G1, and he needs to win the world title in the actual main event. Not this 2-night bullshit where, one night he loses and another night he loses. No. He needs to be it needs to be one night. It needs to be the main event. Naito and Ibushi, again, they have history. They've had a feud for the Intercontinental Championship. Only this time, you're feuding for the heavyweight title. And give Ibushi's moment. Naito has had his moment now. Now he's had his moment yet again. He's good. It's Ibushi's time now. So as of right now, those are my 3 picks. I'm picking Suzuki, I'm picking Shingo, and I'm picking Ibushi. Suzuki, Shingo, and Ibushi. For right now. And let's be honest, I think those 3 guys are going to be in the G1 anyway. New Japan would be stupid not to put either one of those guys in the G1 this year. What I do not want to see is Hiroshi Tanahashi or Koibushi, or Kazuchika Okada winning again. I'm done with those 2. I would like a fresh Tokyo Dome main event which did not involve Tanahashi and or Okada. Can we get something different, please? I would like to see something different. We've had Okada and Tanahashi main event Wrestle Kingdom at least 80-90% of the time of all Wrestle Kingdoms. For 14 Wrestle Kingdoms, we've had either Tanahashi and or Okada in the main event. If it's not both of them fighting each other, it's at least one of them. We need something different. That's what I'm saying. Naito Suzuki. Two big stars, though. But there's a story behind it. Naito Shingo. That's a fresh match, but there's a story behind it. Ibushi and Naito. They've had great chemistry. That's a fresh main event. No, if you really want to shock the world, have Sanada win. The guy's over two of a push. That'll be different. Naito and Sanada? That's different. Do that. Sanada would be like my fourth pick. And in terms of fifth pick, I have to really think about that one. At that point, probably would have to be Okada and or Tanahashi because it's fucking Okada and Tanahashi. I might even say Evil too. Evil can always get his rematch against Naito at the main event Wrestle Kingdom. Their third encounter in this rivalry. It culminates at the main event Wrestle Kingdom. That could happen too. Realistically, that can happen. But let's see here. Let's go on. We'll go in here. Yeah, unfortunately, there's just not enough questions. Unfortunately, guys, I kind of wish there was a lot more questions on here. So, unfortunately, I guess my Q&As are not doing too good right now. I guess a lot of my fan base just quit on me, I guess. I don't know. But unfortunately, guys, there's just not enough fans here. Not enough questions. I'm sorry, guys. I gave you guys 40 minutes. I'm sorry. I guess there's no Q&A today. So I apologize, guys. There's no Q&A. But I want to talk about this show. I thought it was still a fun show, but there's still some problems that need to be taken care of. And now, hopefully, we move on to G1. And I hope to God they make a right decision with G1. This is the 30th anniversary for the G1. Do not give it to Okada or Tanahashi. Do not. Just don't. We don't need those guys winning again. Just give it to somebody new or somebody that deserves to be the heavyweight champion. If Kota Ibushi wins, I will not complain winning again. Even though I hate that mindset of multiple people win the G1, Ibushi deserves to be in the main event and he deserves to win a heavyweight title. But that's it for my summer struggle in Jingu. Apologize for that. When it comes to tomorrow, there will be a Payback review, so stay tuned for that. I'll give my thoughts about Payback tomorrow. And then I go back to work after that because I've been on vacation, so I don't know what's going to happen with videos after that, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe when the G1 Climax, the full list comes out, full wrestlers, maybe Brand and I could do a quick little video, give our predictions on everybody, the possibilities, who we think will be in the final two in the G1 Climax finals, and who we think will overall win. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll have to wait first on when the G1 Climax participants will be announced, because I think G1 the tournament starts, I think on the 16th, of September. I think. Actually, let me check very quick because G1. Let me check very quick because I know it's coming up soon. Okay, so it starts on September 19th. So we still have a few weeks away. So it's on the 19th of September, which that would be starting on a Saturday. It will start on a Saturday and it will end on October 18th. So it'll be a full month of G1 matches. Full month. So in a few weeks, we get the start of the tournament. So soon, we should know who's in the blocks. Once we know that, we'll maybe do a predictions. We'll give our thoughts eventually on the finals, who we think will win the finals. And we'll see where it goes from there. But that is it for your New Japan Summer Struggle. I hope you enjoyed. Again, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow for Payback, so do not forget that. With that being said, take care of my peeps. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we do, or I do, my Payback review.